Break the board, sports. It's Friday. We have a Game 5 ALDS. Tigers and Mariners. The Tigers able to get it back to Seattle. And now Tarik Skubal, probably the best pitcher in baseball, will take the ball in Game 5 for the Tigers as they look to upset the Mariners in this one. Winner gets a trip to the Toronto Blue Jays for the ALCS. Click that like, hit subscribe. We've had a great baseball playoff, 17-8 in the baseball playoffs. Our only bad day really coming yesterday. I don't know what the Phillies pitcher was doing, but, whatever. Let's hop right into this one. Now, you got to shop around because lines are all over the place for this one. Right now, for the sake of argument, we'll go to DraftKings. Tigers minus $1.31, comeback plus 107 on the Mariners. So the road team in a Game 5 deciding game is favored. Don't see that very often. 51% of bets going to the Tigers, 49% of bets going to the Mariners, so split 50-50. Handles the same way as far as 52% of the handle to the Mariners, 48% to the Tigers. I can only give you this just based off perception. It's going to be really hard for people to turn away from Skubal. Either there's two different processes here. Either A, I'm going to take the best pitcher in baseball because there's no way the Mariners can beat him for a fourth time this year. Or you're saying, I'm taking the home team in a Game 5. Mariners got a better roster up and down the lineup. And I could see your reasoning, right? I just personally think this is a coin flip game. I think no matter which way you cut this pie, it's a coin flip, right? But for argument's sake, let's get into trends, see if we can find something. I think you can also get very creative. Player props, this is probably a great player prop game to try to play around with. So let's get into a few of those. I'll go through them and just throw some ideas out there. Full transparency, I always give you leans. Sometimes I give you free picks. I got nothing on this game so far. I'm still doing the work going through it. So let's see if we can find some here. Your over-under is at 6. And right now, everybody leaning towards the over. 74% of tickets to the over, 64% of the handle, compared to just 26% of bets and 36% of the handle going to the under in this one. When you look over the last 10 games, let's look at the Mariners. 5-5, Tigers, 5-5, straight up. When you look the last 10 at home, Mariners 6-4, last 10 on the road, Tigers 5-5. Now, the last 10 games that the Tigers have been favored, 2-8. On the run line, 1-9. Been absolutely horrific. And out of that 1-9, the Tigers as a favorite have failed to cover the run line in 9 straight games. Now, games in which Seattle is an underdog, which they are now, straight up they're 4-6, but the over is cashed 7 of the last 10. Remember that. Again, a lot going towards the over. Tigers as a road favorite, 3-7 straight up, 2-8 on the run line. Excuse me there. As a home underdog, Mariners 6-4 straight up, 7-3 to the run line. Now, I'm not a big run line guy in baseball. I'm not big on laying a goal and a half in hockey. I think they're absolute sucker bets. But again, this might be a game, alternative total or alternative spreads and totals, really. Mariners plus 1.5. Maybe you run, do an alt total, Mariners plus 2.5, get the home team in some of those situations. Now, let's go back through the series. Game 4, Tigers took 9-3. They blew that open. Game 3, the Mariners 8-4. Game 2, the Mariners defeated Skubal 3-2. And then game 1, 3-2 to the Tigers. So you've had 2 overs. The last 2 went over. The first 2 have went under. Typically, when you have a deciding game, players are more tense. Bullpens come into play, right? We saw the bullpen of the Dodgers. Sasaki came in last night and really just shut things down. The Mariners own a 6-4 edge over the Tigers here. But I think the under is the way to go, especially some alt unders. Listen, Skubal's not going to get rocked. When I say the Mariners beating, let's just be real and quantify that what it is. Talking about Tarik Skubal against the Seattle Mariners. He gets the ball today. Now, 1-4 hasn't shown up in the win column, but a 2.7 over his last 5. But let's dive into his last 3 starts, right? He's faced the Mariners 3 times. October 5th, game 1 of the series, game 2 of the series, rather. He pitched 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts. He really just made one mistake here. July 11th, when he faced the Mariners, that game in Seattle, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, only 5 strikeouts. So he didn't fare as well there. Then you go back to April 2nd, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 8 strikeouts. So when you look at that, all 3 meetings, they've beat him, and he's given up anywhere from 2 to 4 runs in there. So kind of following that 2.7 over his last 5. Overall, Skubal been pretty consistent. So when you look at that, as far as Skubal's numbers, I just want to flip over because I saw some and I'm like, man, I think that's really high. His over-under strikeout prop at FanDuel is 9.5, juice minus 158 to the under. So you can, again, like I said, you can do alt strikeout totals there, but it's only to the plus side. So I was just playing around typing. If you did the alternative under and you move remember it's at 6. If you move the game to under 8.5 and Skubal to go under 9.5 strikeouts, that's probably my best lean right now, plus $1.27 at FanDuel. So I think that gives you something you can look at and play with. Now, opposing him will be Logan Gilbert. Now, Gilbert over his last 5 starts, George Kirby, not Gilbert. My apologies. 3-2 with a 3.08 ERA. He's faced Detroit twice. 1-1, lost 1, went 5 innings in both of them. 6 hits, 5 hits, but giving up 2 runs and 4 runs. His 2 outings against them, 8 strikeouts and 6 strikeouts for him in this one. Now, George Kirby, as far as his strikeout prop here, when you go to his strikeout, let's see, Kirby over under 5.5, plus money, plus 102 to the under 5.5, minus 136 to the over. Seattle's going to need him to play well. I really think for the Tigers, looking at just from the optics of it, right, the manager's probably going to tell Skubal, you're pitching 8 innings, and I'm just going to ride or die with you. If you're the Mariners, you're hoping Kirby can get you somewhere 3 to 4 innings, and then you just start throwing all your arms because the Mariners do have a decent bullpen that can carry them and help them here. Now, Mariners lineup, obviously much more potent, so they have the ability to hit the long ball a little better. Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez. So definitely, and that's really, if you take out the 2 mistakes to Polanco, Skubal has been lights out. Now, at home, the Mariners, 30 of the last 41 games they've won at home. 30-11 is their record over their last 41 games at home. That would put you up 15.5 units, 22% return on your investment there. Just a huge, huge number. Let's give you some trends, Tigers and Mariners. Unders have cashed 8 of the last 12 games Tigers have played in. Tigers over their last 19, 6-13 straight up. Against Seattle, Seattle holds a 6-2 mark over the last 8. Now, again, going back to those unders, that's why you see it sitting so low. That's why I love that alt under total. The unders have cashed 8 of the last 10 games on the road for the Tigers, and the under is cashed 4 of the last 5 games when they play Seattle in Seattle, right? As a favorite, we talked about this earlier. The Tigers just 1-9 straight up as a favorite over their last 10. Hasn't fared them well. But Mariners, other than the 2 wins, they had a 5-game losing streak going into the end of the season. They had a little bit of a losing streak going there at the end of the season. They're 2-5 straight up their last 7. Now, we talked about the over has cashed 5 of the last 7 games against the Tigers, but 4 of the last 5 at home for the Mariners have went towards the under. Against American League teams, Mariners 11-3 straight up. Against the AL Central, 11-5 straight up over the last 16. Again, they hold a 6-4 edge over the Detroit Tigers over the last 10 meetings on this one. Again, player props looking down through, I think hitting props are going to be very hard because I would lean more the hitting props of the Tigers. I really believe Tarik Skubal is going to give us 7-8 innings tonight, give up a max 2 runs. And for the Mariners, I think their bullpen can hold them at bay. Again, I think that alt under 8.5 at FanDuel can get you somewhere. I think if you take Skubal under 9.5 strikeouts, that can get you somewhere. If you look at the Tigers, right, let's say, 3-2 seems like something you can lean on. If you take the Tigers, let's do it here, both of them, the Tigers and the Mariners. Let's say you get the Mariners to score, and let's say you get the Mariners and Tigers both to score at least 2 runs with that under 8.5, get you plus 209 at FanDuel. If you think Skubal is really going to pitch a gem, take the Tigers to get 2 runs in the game, over 1.5. And even though it's high juice, over a half run, you're just asking the Mariners to scratch 1. So you get the alternate under 8.5 total. Tigers to get it over a run and a half, and the Mariners just to scratch 1 run in the game. That's plus $1.17. I'll go ahead and play that one too. So 2 plays here. Skubal, 2 parlays. Skubal under 9.5 strikeouts with the under 8.5 for a single unit, plus $1.27. And then plus $1.17, a 3-team alternative totals, under 8.5 for the game, over 1.5 runs for the Tigers, over a half run for the Mariners, plus $1.17. We'll put a single unit on that. Those are our 2 plays. Again, click that like, hit subscribe. Hopefully gave you some trends for you to either pick the Tigers or the Mariners. We'll pick it back up tomorrow, Game 5, giving you all trends and analysis to help you make your own bets. You can be a good handicapper. Just need to go over trends to help you pick those. We'll have Cubs Brewers Game 5 tomorrow. God bless and happy handicapping.